Well, I picked up another MIG welding cart, or welding cart, I guess, with a bottle retainer on the back of it. I've got one from Harbor Freight that I bought, open box, and it's been really good. The wheel's really crappy, so eventually I'll probably change out the wheels. Mainly just the front ones are crappy. They're kind of small, but they do work. It's been a good cart for as cheap as they are. I don't remember how much they cost new, but I paid $127 for this one. I think it looks like $199 maybe new. So, $200 with a cart with storage is not terrible. I've used several things in the past. I've used these little 5-drawer carts that they've got. Well, this one's a 4-drawer cart, but it's the same thing as the Harbor Freight 5-drawer. It was just sold through somebody else. And then I've used these. They are really nice for a welding cart because of the storage. As far as a fabrication cart goes, I've got, you can see I've got all kinds of storage. The only problem with these is that they're wide and bulky. So as far as getting them in around the lift and getting them in between two vehicles while you're working on them, these are 20 some inches wide, 22, 23, I think. 22 probably. They're just a little bit bulky to get through stuff. So I was gonna originally put a bottle holder on the back of that one, but it freaking is just too big. I put nicer wheels on it from a 5-drawer cart, because the 5-drawer cart wheels are way better than what these come with. It does raise it up higher, just a hair, but so I'm just gonna keep that as my fabrication storage, and then as far as strictly welding stuff goes, I'll still have a little bit of consumables in here, which I've only just started. I've got stuff on the way, but it's got, those are the bigger wheels I was gonna run on the back, and then the front wheels there, I just have never put them on. And then it's got this nice box down here. I would just put my welding spools down there. I've only got 2 in there. I could fit, heck, if I stick them sideways, I'd probably fit 16 of them. I could do 8 across the back and 8 across the front. It'd just make it that much heavier, which would kill those wheels even more. That's my one complaint about is the wheels. Other than that, they're perfect. And I've been looking for another one. I don't want to pay full price for one because I'm cheap. So this one popped up on Marketplace, $150 used, which is more than I paid for my new one. But for the price, still, it's not bad. 150 is really good. This one's like new anyway. He barely used it. Well, here's a good way to tell if they've been used or not. Look at the wear from where the bottle's been. He only had one bottle in there. He never even did a bottle exchange, I bet. So, only problem is I was wanting something for 2 machines. So that's why the plywood's on there. I've got a 14-inch by 20-inch piece of plywood on the bottom. It fits in there perfect. And then I've got a 20 by 20 sheet of plywood on top. It's split because I cut down for this one the full sheet, or the full partial sheet that I had, and then I didn't have enough for a 20 by 20. So I've got a 14 by 20 and a 6 by 20. But once I glue it all together, screw it all together, I'm just going to screw these 2 together. I'm probably not even going to attach it to the metal, so that way I can pop it off there whenever I need to. If I want to go back to a single machine on this cart, I can without having a bunch of holes in the top of the cart. And then that way it's easier right now because I don't have to pull the drawers out and try to screw up through there. So I'm just going to leave it. I've still got to screw it and glue it, but these are still usable. You've still got enough room to get your leads in there or a helmet in there. My main concern is stuff falling off the side as far as a welder goes. So I've got, I don't know what this is left over from, but it's aluminum. and just angle iron. I think it's like 1 by 1.5 inches. I'm gonna screw that to the sides of it, probably not along the back because there's no reason to, really. The bottle will be back there to keep a welder from falling off the back, but just screw it to the sides so that one can't, like, you know, vibrate and shake off the side. I've had that one, you know, it'll move to one side or the other the more you move it around, so I know that it does move, so I don't want this one to move. I'm throwing on a titanium TIG welder. It does stick and TIG. It's called a TIG 200. I bought it open box as well, and it's been a good machine. I bought the extended warranty on it too, just in case. And then I've got this little Amoco plasma cutter. I don't remember the model. Cut 50. Amoco Cut 50. That thing has been tremendous as far as usability goes. The thing cuts way thicker than I thought it would, and it cuts it pretty efficiently. I haven't had any issues out of this machine. The consumables, they're pretty easy to get. Looks like I need to replace that one. But yeah, they're, you know, I've had a couple spots where I got hot on the outer cord, but I caught it in time and it didn't get to the inner, so I need to put some heat shrink on there or something. But overall, this has been a really good machine for the money. I can replace that machine, you know, 5 times before I buy a comparable name brand machine. So I'm really happy with it. I use it quite a bit, but not a ton. And I also stick weld quite a bit, but not a ton. I mostly just MIG everything together because it's so easy. I'd like to learn TIG, so that's why I bought that machine. But as far as DC stick, it's pretty good. The duty cycle sucks, but it's a pretty solid machine. I've done a couple projects with it, and I'm really happy with it. As far as a mobile stick, like that thing, I can wheel it out. Actually, I can carry it around, and it's just easy. Whereas my big stick machine, that's not easy to take places. That thing weighs, you know, I don't know, 500 pounds, 700 pounds, something like that. And I can move it with skid steer. I can move it on that, you know, heavy steel cart. But as far as, like, the main reason I bought that was I had a project up there that I had to get up to weld those stairs together, the stair brackets to the container. And so I had to get something over there. Well, at the time, my big stick I didn't have available at the time anywhere close to it, so I went ahead and just used that, and it was perfect. Same thing with the MIG. You know, I could have gotten the MIG over there, but then the lead wasn't long enough to reach up there and use it comfortably and get it in tightly, so I wasn't able to use that because it's got a bottle, so to carry it upstairs would be stupid. So, you know, I just got that, and I just burned it in with the stick, and heck, it worked out really well. So that's my plan, is I'm going to run this machine and that machine on one cart because I don't use either of them all the time. This cart will mostly be tucked back in a corner or something. So, you know, I need something to hold consumables for both those machines. And eventually I'll need to do something about TIG rod holders on this machine, which what I was thinking, you know, the bottle goes here. On the back of this, there's, I don't know what that is, 4 inches. There's 5.5 inches there on each side. So I could theoretically, I don't know how wide the stick or the TIG rods are as far as the holders go. I know the big ones are like 2 inch or 2.5 inch or something. But the little ones, I could probably stick 2 or 3 of those in there, you know, make little holders out of angle iron on the back of that. And I could have, you know, rod storage on the back of it too. And as far as stick goes, I could put stick rods in there. I think it might not be long enough, actually. I'm not sure. But, you know, I could put some sort of consumables in there, and then all the little consumables for the plasma cutter, they'll go perfect in here. And then And the bottom of that, you know, I could put a helmet, or I usually hang my helmet on the side here or on the bottle. On the bottle is usually easiest. But there's lots of storage actually in the bottom of that. Yeah. I could put stick electrodes in the bottom of that because it's longer than the drawers. So yeah, that basically serves all my purpose for 2 machines, and it's only 1 cart. I didn't want to buy the big cart because it's 3 times the size of one of these, and it's 3 or 4 times money, and they're just cumbersome to move around, just like this. If I was going to build a big welding cart, that's how I'd go with, because it has more organizable storage than that big cart does. So, and you can fit, you can probably only fit 2 machines on there too, because it's only 26 wide or something like that. But this will do fine for what I need. I'm happy I didn't spend a ton of money. And if you're wanting to run two machines on 1 cart, that's a stable way to do it. That's 3/4 inch plywood. You know, it's sturdy. It'll be sturdier once I screw it all down, but I'll try to get some footage of it too when it's done. Yeah, this is an excellent way to go. Well, I couldn't find any glue, so I did something I've done a lot of times for when I'm wanting something to seat good. I just used regular drywall screws with thick, coarse thread. I could have used construction screws. I just didn't want to waste them on this project. But I used 2.5 inch screws. That way, I mean, I could have found 1.5 inch screws, but I would have had to gone to the store. And then just the point would barely be showing through once you buried the head just a hair. So, you know, if you get 1 3/8 screws, then you're only going into here with like 1 or 2 threads. So what I done is I pre-drilled with the drill, and then I ran those screws all the way in, and there's like 1 inch sticking out. And then you just take a pair of pliers, bend them, break them off, and then grind them off smooth with a flap disc kind of grinder. And then they're not sticking out, they're not sharp, and you have full coarse thread all the way through, not even like the little end of the screw. I don't have any more, but I have the diagram here. You know, that first like 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch of screw, that's useless. It doesn't have any holding power. You don't have any holding power to get to your second and third full thread there. And so what I done is I drilled through and then broke off right here. So all this is in that bottom section. So it should be really strong and hold for a long time. And I didn't have any glue. So that's my solution to that for now. So now I'm going to do a little bit of sanding and find something to mount these angle iron to it. Well, here it is. That rack I made is no wider than these. So these stick out to about 20 inches on each side total width. So the rack itself is just as wide as those. So if you're trying to get through, you know, to not scratch something, like between 2 vehicles, you gotta have at least 20 inches anyway. So that's how I made this 20 inches, or why I made it 20 inches. I could have gone narrower. There's probably 4 inches right here. But I wanted to be able to not block off the ventilation, because both these have ventilation on each side. So I didn't want to overheat one machine. You know how you can stack them all next to each other. I didn't want to do that, because then you're overheating stuff or have opportunity to overheat stuff. I'm able to put both leads for the plasma over there, and then I just shove the power supply up underneath. Same with this. Both stick leads are over there. I've got my foot pedal for the TIG and whatnot down in there, and then I'll probably put the TIG torch in probably this drawer. Try to keep it out of the elements. I need to build like a cover for this and for my MIG cart, but right now they're just exposed to the elements. I built these little side deals out of that aluminum angle iron, and they stick up probably about 3/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch, which is plenty. And I went ahead and rounded the edges on them, and then I just screwed them underneath. to the plywood with machine screw, or not machine screws, metal building screws for like metal siding. They were like 1 inch long total. So with the washer on them and the rubber on the washer and the thickness of this aluminum, they come right to the surface just barely when you compress them all the way. They're not poking through or nothing, which is good. So it's it worked out perfect, and you know, they'll keep the machine from falling off. The machine could still tumble off, but as far as sliding off, it's not going to slide off. So I'm happy with that. I do need to get my bottle on here and see if this is going to interfere with the bottle at all. If so, I can swap these machines sideways, or I could just put a 90 degree on here, you know, a 90 this way or something. But then I have this problem over here where this one is the air comes out the same side, so it would have the same problem hitting the bottle. But I could always put 90 on that for sure, and then it wouldn't be a problem. So, or 45 or something, you know. But no, I'm happy with that. It turned out really well. It's, the handles still, you know, this doesn't block your access to the handle at all. It doesn't interfere. The way they put these handles on with the screws is stupid. It just screws right into that. It's not even self-tapping screws. It's just like regular thick coarse thread screws. And they loosen up all the time. I'm thinking about taking them out, putting some JB Weld on the threads and then putting them back in, or some Loctite or something. But yeah, it's a pretty good little cart. It should serve me well.